All right. I think we're recorded and all ready to rock and roll. Well, good morning, everyone. How are we?
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. Awesome. Love to see the thumbs up and everything there. As always, we first off want to start off by saying thank you for joining us at today's event. We've been really excited to put on this event. This is the second of our lead generation masterminds that we've held in the last week. So just to give everybody a little bit of a premise, how many of you, by a show of hands, virtually or in the chat box or voice-wise, have been through a mastermind before? Good, good.
Oh, no.
All right. So it seems like there's some that have. For those that have never been to a mastermind, I just want to get everybody on the same page on what we're doing here today. So I've been joined by one of my good friends and a top agent in the market who you are about to meet in a minute here to conduct this mastermind with me. What we do in these masterminds, we come with how much content?
As much as they want to talk about.
As much as they want to talk about, exactly. Which means we don't come with any content whatsoever. Really, the content for an event like this is generated by all of you. I'm getting somebody saying no audio. Can everybody else hear me, or is anyone else having issues?
Well, got you loud and clear.
Okay, great. So the content of today's event is really going to be generated by all of you here today, which means this is going to be a highly interactive and participatory session. What does that mean? For one, we're going to ask that everybody, or as many of you as possible that have done your makeup and hair, please turn on your video cameras. It makes for a more personal and fun session and gives us an opportunity to understand what are you feeling as we go through today's dialogue. So as many of you as possible, on the count of three, 1, 2, 3, turn on those cameras. Oh, all right, there we go. Good start. We still have about 80% that are figuring out where to turn on their camera. That's okay, we'll get there, we'll get there. So with that being said, understanding that the content is reliant on all of you, here's how today works. We have come with our knowledge and experience, what we know about the industry, about the models that it takes to generate a business as large as James and other people similar to his production level. And so what we're relying on is for you to bring to us questions as it relates to the real estate sales business. So whether that's things that you're facing when it comes to lead generation, lead follow-up, specific database strategies, your mindset, or anything else in between and outside of that, we would love for you to, in a moment, pipe up and tell us what are some of those questions that you have for us today. So before we get those questions from each of you, let's go ahead and get a quick introduction out of the way. I want everybody to join me and give a super warm welcome, which includes some hoot and hollering and high fives, for my good friend, top agent, James Hughes of Keller Williams VIP. Give it up for him.
Hello, James.
All right, I'm liking this group, I gotta say. All right, so James, tell them who you are and why you're qualified to be doing this session here.
Sure, qualified, don't know, but I'll tell you who I am. So I got into the real estate sales business in 2016. I joined an expansion team out of Tucson, Arizona with a good buddy of mine. And we have since grown our overall team business from doing about 70 transactions a year to, as an overall team, we are in 6 states. We are in 9 different locations, and we closed just shy of 500 transactions last year. We are on track as a team to probably do somewhere between 650 to 700 this year, based upon the trend that we're looking at. And what that starts with is a foundation of lead generation. And there's no way we can get to the level of business that we are without systems and models and lead generation every single day.
Exactly. So that is one of, it's definitely, lead generation is going to be the bloodline for your business. It is one of probably the most important topic we'll talk about today, but one of those topics. So we are asking for you to bring to us any questions that you have. So we just hit a button to mute everyone. That way we can reduce as much of the background noise as possible. So if you can, we're going to now go ahead and collect some of those questions so that we could jump right into the content of today's meeting. So I do have some attendees here, as well as the 20 plus attendees here. Go ahead and start unmuting yourself and letting us know what questions can we answer for you today, such that by answering it will help you grow your business right away. Who'd like to begin?
I will.
All right, Greg, talk to us.
What is your main #1 lead generation tool that you use?
Okay, just so you know, we're going to write all of these down. We're going to get as many as possible. and because we might have a lot that ask the same. So we're going to write down every question, put some hash marks if we've got some that are similar, and then we'll go back through and answer everything. Make sense?
Okay, sure.
All right, who's next?
Well, we allotted an hour. This will probably take 7 minutes at this rate.
All right. Yeah. Ulysses, go ahead.
What's the least expensive way to market yourself or generate leads?
Okay.
What are some good follow-up strategies for leads?
What are some good follow-up strategies for leads? Love it.
How successful are your Facebook ads, and what are you doing to generate through Facebook?
Okay. Facebook ads, generating leads.
In addition to Facebook, do you use LinkedIn and other online tools?
We'll just say other social media platforms. How's that sound?
Great.
Okay. We can touch other social media platforms. Yeah, that was gonna be yours. Okay. Anything else? Anybody out there?
Do you have to make cold calls to be successful?
Okay, cold calling. Great. Define success. Let's do that first.
Like 20 to 30 houses a year, I guess, sales.
Okay, cool.
Really quickly, everybody unmute, and on the count of 3, in 1 word or less, answer her question. 1, 2, 3.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we got a lot of yeses. This is going to be a great mastermind then. All right. What else?
Housing platforms like Zillow, not LinkedIn, House, and Hotpad, things of that nature.
Okay.
What about them, Devin?
How successful are you in placing your ads there? It's pretty expensive, so how can you leverage those costs versus ROI?
Okay. Okay. Just to get a pulse on the room, by a show of hands or just say yes or whatever, how many people have taken the time to read some books on lead generation, on running a real estate business, all that stuff?
Yes.
Yes, no, yes. So probably 50-50-ish. Okay. All right.
No.
I also have a question I like to add.
Sure.
How do you secure your place as number 2 if you're not number 1?
So a question here in person, 6 feet away from us. How do you secure position number 2 if first place real estate agent is already taken? Does everyone get what we're talking about?
Are you referring to Zillow leads?
No, I'm referring to a lot of the, like my spirit people. Yeah, my house is real.
Okay. Oh, okay. So overcoming objections with my so-and-so as a realtor. Got it. Kind of a different topic, but we can talk about that too.
Okay. Anyone else? All right. Anyone else?
Okay. So I think one of the big themes, let's go ahead and talk about that first, unless you have a different direction. So one of the big themes is social media platforms, social media advertising, all of that good stuff, ROI. So first of all, I will say, I'm only going to go off of my experience and our team's experience. When it comes to Zillow, we are really, really successful in Tucson because it's inexpensive and there was not a lot of people in that marketplace. So we were early adopters with that. We secured a good price point, and we are very successful in Tucson with Zillow leads. In Vegas, it is wildly expensive, and for me, it's not worth the time or the energy. And even as Zillow's tried to renew their business model and saying, hey, we'll do all the cold calling for you, we'll do all of this, it's basically a soft handoff, give it over to you. Me personally, I like to run a very lean business, and I'm just not willing to spend $5,000 a month on Zillow or any other platform like that to ensure that I'm going to get some leads. And my personal feeling on any type of internet leads, no matter what you're doing, is that should just be something that is added to your database. All you're trying to do is continue to populate your database and put them in some type of nurture plan so that you can convert them 6 months, 8 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years down the road. If you're not gonna be committed to doing that, then I would say absolutely do not spend any money on any social media whatsoever, because you're gonna be wasting your money and you're gonna be wasting your time. Just know that the conversion ratio for a cold lead or an internet lead is somewhere between 250 to 300 to 1, which means for every ad that you run, you need to add 250 to 300 people into your database, systematically follow up with them consistently, and eventually you will convert them into a lead. There's somebody that wants to buy or sell a home with you. For me, that's just not the business I'm in. I prefer doing sphere of influence and people who know, like, and trust you, because that is the quickest way you're going to get into a business, and that is the quickest way that you are going to grow your business and expand and able to then reach out to those other lead generation tools like internet.
I think there's two things to pull from that in particular, right? So the first of which is your lead generation strategy should be prospecting based and marketing enhanced, right? So these internet leads, it should not be your main lever for generating leads. Because, and here's the reason why, you will go broke waiting for those leads to convert, especially if you haven't gotten a deal and you're really reliant on that. Now, there are some agents who have figured out a baseline for their business. They have a strong foundation and now they could sprinkle that in. That's great. But make sure you really nail down what you're doing to prospect before we start bringing in internet leads, because you will be spending a lot of money and taking a lot of time to convert those leads. Which, speaking of conversion, you know, one of the things you talked about was committing to converting those leads. And that's probably the biggest failure with online leads. It's not how much money do I spend? Does my ad look good? It's when the leads come in, and I see this time and again, one call, wait a few days, maybe another call, it's a bad lead, bad information. You know, my favorite strategy for servicing online leads is 10 days of pain. For 10 consecutive days, when that lead is generated, you call, text, email each and every day until you've made that 10th attempt, right?
Yeah,
But
100%.
that commitment is sometimes lacking.
Yeah, and I don't want to quote it because I'm going to mess up all the numbers, but there is some spreadsheets out there. There's some factual information out there that says the amount of leads that are converted on the first call is very, very small. Let's just say less than 3%. On the second call, it might be 5%. On the third call, it's 10. And it goes up sequentially. And so the majority of your leads that you're going to convert to buyers or sellers is in the 8th to the 12th contact. Whether that's a phone call, whether it's a text message, whether it's an email, whatever it is, you're staying top of mind with that person, you're nurturing that person, you're going to need to contact them at least 10 times before they're finally going to get on the phone with you and say, sorry, James, I've been getting your text messages, been getting your emails. Sorry, I've been busy. It happens every single time. And every single time you're about to give up, I guarantee you that very next phone call or the second phone call is when they're finally going to answer the phone. And we see that a lot in this business.
Yep. This doesn't mean wait until the 8th or 9th day. You have to make attempts 1 through 7 to get to that 8th through 12th attempt. And here's the reason why. They're going to keep seeing that number pop up over and over again. How many of you have seen a number pop up a couple days in a row, third day in a row? And then they give up.
Yeah.
Right? It's those persistent ones that finally, what do you want on attempt number 8 through 12? You want that. You want that, and you might be intimidated, but you want that attempt because that's where you're going to get them converted once they understand why you're calling. Right? And so I think this is the case with any internet lead, right? Social media leads, Zillow leads, whatever that may be. What would you say to the individuals though? Because you're saying that it's expensive, right? Mm-hmm. It's particularly with Zillow leads out here. But I mean, okay, even if it's $5,000 a month, if I get one deal, the ROI is paid off.
Except any investing that you do in your business should give you at least a 3-time ROI. So just keep that in mind, especially when you're trying to run a lean business. If you're going to spend $5,000 a month on any lead generation platform, you better be getting $15,000 a month in income. If you don't get it, then you need to cancel it and just don't do it. So what we do on our team and our business is we run Facebook ads that have targeted bit.ly links that are routed back to our landing page that automatically gets input into our CRM. Okay, I'm going to say that again very, very slowly. This is why a CRM is extremely important. We run targeted Facebook ads that have a bit.ly link that routes them back to our landing page that gets automatically inputted into our CRM. You have to have that in place to run any type of internet ads. If you don't have that, then you're just wasting your time. And again, you're wasting your money. So make sure you have your systems and processes set up so when you're spending that money, you can track it, you can know how much you're spending, what your ROI is, and you get all the people's information.
So the bit.ly link, BITLY, that just shortens that landing page URL. So that way it doesn't look like, teamintegrity.com/1297 at blah, 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 blah. Right.
Yep.
But it's sorting to a landing page. That way, most importantly, it's collecting the information, right? With your internet advertising, be careful how much information you're giving right front facing. Put it behind a wall where they got to give information in order to get it.
Yep. Yeah. We don't put price. We don't put location. We put nothing. We say, if you want more information, click on this link and give us your information. Because we only want to deal with motivated buyers and sellers. We're not going to waste our time on dealing with all these other people. So, and we spend $100. That's it. So we do a just listed ad, $100. As soon as it goes under contract, we put under contract $100. As soon as it closes, $100. So $300 is what we spend for every listing that we take. We might spend more if we do an open house, but at the most we're going to spend on any internet lead generation is $400 per ad.
And where are you spending that? So that way they can
just through Facebook.
So specific through Facebook, you're spending it, because this is going to answer Devin's question in the chat, if they're worth it. So what's your cost per lead? How many leads are you generating with 400?
Well, we typically get, I would say somewhere between 150 to 200 per ad that we run. And our cost per lead is typically around about $1 or less. And again, we use that only to stay top of mind in our area and to gather information and put them on a nurture plan, which I think we should probably talk about next.
I think one more question, if we could help.
Sure.
And let's just open this door. Let's not go all the way through it. We can help you guys if you guys have individual questions around total scripts. But with these internet leads, I guess either the mindset or the script that they should be using when they're calling these Facebook leads.
Sure. Yeah. So for us, again, we have some pretty sophisticated stuff on the back end. So as soon as a lead comes through, if they have a phone number, it automatically sends them a text message and says, hey, is this, because they have to put their name in there. So, hey, is this Dan? And if they respond back, yes, this is, then it comes through my phone and says, yes, Dan just responded. And then it gives me an action to call them. So then I'll call them right away and say, hey, Dan, I noticed that you clicked on 123 Main Street. Can I help you? What kind of information are you looking for? What's going on? Are you looking to buy? Are you looking to sell? It's a very simple conversation. We're not looking to come over some objections yet, because this is somebody who raised their hand and said, I'm interested in something on your website and a home. So this is not a cold lead. We'll say this is a lukewarm lead because they have some information that they want to get from us.
Bingo, bingo. And then you just play the nurture game at that point. Maybe they're ready right now. Most people, and NAR states this, they actually start their internet search 10 weeks before they're actually ready to start the transaction. So most of these internet leads are probably going to be a little ways out. Play this nurture game with them. And what does your 10-week plan look like to stay engaged with them on a weekly basis so that you're ready when they're ready?
Yeah, right? And our CRM is also sophisticated. They know that if they clicked on a blog, they know that if they clicked on a Zillow lead, they know. And then we have about 25 or 30 different action plans that they are automatically put on. So in addition to it telling me to call them and text them and email them, then 2 days later, it'll automatically send an email. Hey, here's some other homes that you might be interested in. 4 days later, it'll send an email. Are you still looking? And then in between that, it'll tell me to call them again. Hey, Dan, did you get that email I sent yesterday? Again, very, very simple conversations. You're just trying to extrapolate as much data as you can from that lead and find out what their true motivation is. And then once you find their true motivation, then you're going to be able to put them on the correct action plan.
Bingo. Yeah, Edie's asking, when you say CRM, are you talking command? So Keller Williams has a CRM called Command. I think you still have yet to transition just based on where your team is at right now, right?
Yeah, we use Follow Up Boss.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing CRM. We got in with them in 2005 when they first kind of launched. So we got some good pricing with them. We are going to eventually convert to Command, but Command for teams isn't as robust as Follow Up Boss is for us right now. So it just doesn't make sense, but we will eventually make the switch over.
Yeah. Certain triggers and things like that. Yeah. And Devin, he's hitting the nail on the head. I think we've already got one person with an aha, right? Hide some of your information when it comes to, and I'm trying to balance this for you guys as well. Hide some of that information behind the advertisement. That way they have a reason to get more information. I was actually texting with an agent yesterday, right? Where somebody asked in the comment section for more information. Send them a private message. Don't put in the comment section and hide that stuff. So that way they're reaching out to you and you're genuinely using it as a lead generation lever, right?
Yeah, and this happens a lot too. You'll get one of those consumers, and it probably happens to us once or twice a week. They oh, this is terrible. You're a terrible agent. Why don't you just tell us what the price is? I never want to work with you. You're the worst. And that's fine. And we have responses for everything. What I tell that consumer is the reason we don't advertise price is because we routinely, as real estate agents, servicing our clients, will do either price increases or price decreases. And these internet leads and these ads will stay on Facebook forever. So I don't want to dabble in false advertising. I don't want to tell a consumer this is what the price of the house is, when in reality, it could be more, it could be less when we go to write an offer or go into contract. So we never advertise price or location on any of our internet leads.
Beautiful. So prospecting based, marketing enhanced, Zillow, good in some markets. In Vegas, a little bit expensive. Your ROI will probably be greater in something like social media advertising, especially people being at home and just scrolling through their Facebook all the time. You're going to get prominent placement there. Make sure that you're doing some form of 10, 12 days of pain where it's consistent follow-up for a consecutive number of days, because that 8th through 12th attempt is when you'll actually get them converted, right? And make sure you're not giving away too much information. Yeah. Keep dropping questions in the chat box in case you guys want us to clarify anything for you. You guys good? Yeah? Okay.
Anything before we move on to another topic?
Beautiful. So what is the main lead generation tool that you use?
My main lead generation tool? Honestly, I would say it's consistent follow-up, and it's every single day. So real estate is a contact sport. It is that simple. He who contacts the most people wins. It's all a math equation. So depending on who you are calling, will determine on how many phone calls you need to make. And it's a very simple equation. And once you can figure that out, you can just reverse all the equations and say, okay, for me to be successful and close 20 to 30 homes a year, I need to contact 10 of my sphere a day, and I need to contact 20 leads a day, whatever that may be, whatever your conversion ratio is. And then you just do that whatever days you want to work, whether it's Monday through Friday, Monday through Saturday, Sunday through Thursday. You just do it every single day consistently, and then follow up with them. That is my lead generation strategy.
If you're not happy with your conversion rates, scripts, practice, and role play, right? And that will help you close some of those gaps and get you to a place where it takes you less and less calls to get those numbers. But to James' point, and you guys have heard this before, so maybe you're looking for a silver bullet here. We're here to tell you that it's just hard work, determination, and playing the contact sport, right? That's what real estate is, talking to people and not relying on spending a lot of money through marketing to get those ads funneling in, right?
And you have to treat it like a business. That's the first thing. I think being successful in real estate, you have to do a mind shift and say, I'm not just a real estate agent, I'm a business owner, and I run my business. And so if you don't know your numbers, if you don't know how many people you're calling a day, if you don't know how many appointments you're setting a week, if you don't know how many contracts you have, it's impossible for you to increase your what's the word I'm thinking of? Your ability to do this job correctly. What am I trying to
competence.
say? Your competence, your experience. Yeah. So case in point, if you're tracking your numbers and you're talking to 1,000 people a week, but you're not setting any appointments, well, then we need to work on your conversations. If you're going to 10 appointments a week, but not getting any listing or buyers signed, then there's a problem there. So if you track all your numbers and know what your conversion ratios are, then it's much easier for you to dial in on what you need to do to get yourself as a better agent, what books you need to read, what seminars you need to go to, whatever that may be, to make yourself a better agent.
You bring up such a good point. I think ever since COVID happened, there's probably 101 different Zooms for you to plug into. And for many agents, right, we plug in with zero intentionality. By the way, this was a good one to plug into, hopefully. But we plug into just any training because we don't know what we need to work on and focus on. That's where tracking your numbers comes in handy, particularly in November. What do you do for your business every November?
Every November, we get our entire team together at a summit in Scottsdale, Arizona, and we go over everything that we did the previous 3 quarters. We have our game plan and our strategy and our goals for the following year. And when we go over everything, we set our goals, we set our intentions, and we go after it. So we actually start in the 4th quarter, which everybody should, because real estate is a 90 to 120 day game. So really, your start of the following year is in the fourth quarter. So in October, you're really doing business what's going to convert in January.
And you want a business plan at a really high level come November? Track your numbers, and that way you know what your conversion rates are and what activity you exactly need to do to hit that goal that you want. We all come into every year saying, I want to make 250 grand.
Mhm.
I want to make 500 grand net.
Yeah.
Okay, great. What do you have to do to do it?
Yeah.
Rather than use the models that we read in a book, use your own numbers, right? And let's make the subtle increases based on what you're actually doing and not based on what a book is telling us you need to do, right? So what are some of the numbers that they should be tracking then?
Their contacts, so how many people you're calling a day.
Or talking to.
Whatever that may be.
Whatever that is.
Yeah. So
and by the way, contact, you got to define that.
We'll define a contact. So a contact is a conversation with a human being about buying or selling real estate. I don't care if that is through Instagram, which by the way, if you're not on that, you should. Facebook, Twitter, I don't care. Email, whatever it may be. You're going to adopt whatever platform your lead wants to communicate on. Don't try and go what you want to communicate on. If they want to talk exclusively through Instagram, that's fine. If they want to talk exclusively through Facebook Messenger, great, do that. And then when the time is right, you can convert them to the media that you want to, get them on the phone, get in front of them, and then have them sign the contract for you.
So contacts, what else will you?
Contacts,
tracking?
appointments set, appointments held, contracts, and closings. You should be tracking that every single day. You should be recapping it every single week and every single month. So that's contacts, appointments set, appointments held, contracts, and closings.
Yep. I might add one more to that, which would be leads generated, right? The name of the game. And if you want to increase the floor for your business every year, keep fattening your database and make sure that's a focal point for you, right? Because by fattening that database and then systematizing the follow-ups with them, you're just you're constantly feeding more and more deals to your future. Yep. Awesome.
What was the last one after
Closings. Closings. And the reason you track that is for fallout rate.
By the way, separate them.
Yeah.
Your buyer contracts and buyer closings, and your listing contracts and listing closings. Because we're talking two different types of appointments, and if you're having issues with conversion of either one, we need to know which it is, not just universally appointments.
Okay.
How are we doing?
Doing great.
Did we lose anyone? Okay, I think we gained a couple actually. All right, least expensive way to market and generate leads.
Least expensive way, yeah.
Besides friends and family, okay? Let's just, let's give that one.
I honestly, I don't have an answer for that. Least expensive way to market and generate leads. Yeah,
If you reach out to like a title rep for a marketing company, you can get free farms for whatever area and part of town that you like, and you can get a list of hundreds of numbers. You know, you just pull out the phone and start calling. I mean, they're going to be cold leads, but it's the name of the game, you know?
Yeah. So what one of our participants just mentioned was partner with your title reps. You can get free information, and then you use that information to go and take action, right? I think for those of you that want to do free generating of leads, it's kind of tough in today's market but door knocking, and specifically door knocking neighborhoods that have high turnover rates. So if you guys were in part of our mastermind on Friday, you're looking for neighborhoods that have a 5% or higher turnover rate in the last 6 months. Go after those neighborhoods, and if you're trying to identify those neighborhoods, partner with your title rep. They can tell you exactly where to go. But that's low-hanging fruit, right? Outside of FSBOs and expires, those will be low-hanging fruit, because where there's activity, there's more to come. And I think you had already touched on, from a marketing standpoint, Facebook advertising is super low cost per lead right now. We're seeing $1 or less per lead.
Yeah, I would say, okay, honestly, I could talk to that. So the least expensive way to market and generate leads, I talked about it earlier, is the people who already know you, who like you, and who trust you and want to do business with you. We are a very sphere-heavy team. 50 to 60% of our business is repeat business, if not more. And so we nurture our people as if they're our family. Every single person that we go into business with, every single seller, every single buyer, we put them on we call them a sphere and close action plan, and we contact them every 60 days. I don't care if they bought a house from me in 2016. I have been contacting them every 2 months to stay in touch and say hi and say happy birthday and Thanksgivings and Christmases and 4th of July and all those things.
How much of your success would you attribute to that strategy particularly?
I would contribute 100% of my success to that strategy, because it's easy for them when you nurture your people and your clients and your past clients like your family. Business will come in. You won't even have to ask for it, and that's the cheapest one. It's free. They'll say, "Hey, James, I got a buddy who's moving here. I give him your number. Awesome. Give me his number too, because I want to make sure I contact him." And that's free, and that's the best way. We do 3 client appreciation parties a year, and we invite everybody, not somebody who just bought or sold a home with me in the last 6 months. Every single person who has ever bought or sold a home with us and is still here in Las Vegas, they get invited to our client appreciation parties. And we typically get somewhere between 100 to 150 people to show up.
Beautiful. So, we talked about this creative party that nobody ever wants to leave. In fact, they want to bring other people to that party as well.
And it's happened every time. We actually, when we do our advertising or email blasts or whatever it may be, and personal phone calls to every single person every single time, we tell them, if you know somebody that's looking to buy or sell in the next 90 days, please bring them with you. Please do a soft introduction. And I've easily gotten 4 to 5 solid leads from every client appreciation party that we do.
So it looks like a question specifically about the events. What kind of events are you hosting? Gotten great feedback.
So we do a spring and fall one that's a family only. We've done it at the park. We have gone to, let's see where else. We've gone to a baseball game. We went to a farm. I mean, we just have fun with it. We try and do something different every single time. And then after a couple of years, I took a poll at one of ours and said, "Hey, would you guys like to do an adults only?" And of course, all the parents said yes. So in the summer, when it's hot, we do some type of indoor adult only party. And last year we did a paint party where we went over to Pino's Palette and drank a bunch of wine and had some paint and had some fun. We usually have the title reps or our lenders supply the food, so it doesn't really cost us anything but the venue. We've gone to axe throwing. We just do we just do fun stuff. We went to one of those tiny amusement parks for a family one in the fall one time. Great time.
Yeah. I guess, how much are you spending on these types of events then?
I try to keep it about $20 to $30 per person. So typically somewhere between $2,000 to $3,000 per client party.
Perfect. And partner with your vendors, right? Your allied resources to see if they can help you with the cost as well. So we do that. Awesome. All right, let's talk follow-up strategies for leads.
Follow-up strategies for leads. Awesome. Okay, so let's back up a little bit. Let's talk about different leads. So cold calling. What is the difference between a cold lead, a warm lead? So let's talk about that. Cold lead is, no kidding, I have never met this person. I have no idea if they want to buy or sell. I've got a list from the title company, or I've used Mojo to do a circle prospecting list, whatever it may be, and I'm picking up the phone and calling them. That is cold calling, or cold door knocking, or whatever it may be. You are literally have no reason to contact this person, but I want to call them. That's not the arena I like to be in, because you have to do a lot of that. I do it to augment some of my other lead generation activities, but it's not my sole source. So that's one. A warm lead would be somebody who's clicked on your advertising or reached out to you and says, "Hey, I saw your name," or "Hey, I'm out in front of the house." That's somewhat of a warm lead. And then a hot lead is somebody who called you and says, "I want you to come sell my home," or "I got your number from so-and-so, I want to buy a house." So I have completely different nurture plans for all of those people. So one, I would hope your CRM is smart enough, like ours is, to automatically put them on a plan. And so for a cold lead, I am going to call them, text them, and email them over and over and over and over and over again forever until they say, "Please stop contacting me." I will never delete anybody in my database as long as I have a good email. And we will do monthly email blasts to try and just get some of those people to come out. So eventually, once you get them on the phone, the strategy and the follow-up plan you're going to put them on is the one that they are most comfortable with and you believe is going to take you to the finish line. The reason I say that is, let's say they don't want to buy for 6 months. Perfect. Now is the great time to get started. Let's say they don't want to sell their home for a year. Awesome. Now is the right time to get started. What you want to do is get in front of those people, because almost everybody is much better in person with somebody. So you want to get in front of them and have that buyer's consultation, have that listing consultation, and then say, "Okay, we're not looking to buy for another 6 months. how about I contact you every 2 weeks? Is that good with you? If they say yes, perfect. If they say no, I only want you to contact me once a month, no problem. But we're the professionals. And as we get closer to that timeline, even though they only want me to contact them once a month, I'm going to say, you know what, Dan, we're about 3 months out. It's really time to get serious now. I'm going to send you to my lender. I think we need to start talking once a week. I'm going to get your MLS set up. And then once we have somebody under contract or they're a hot prospect, we are contacting them every 4 days and just staying in touch and saying, hey, how's the home search going? Do you like the house I'm sending you? Hey, are you getting enough showings at your listing? Whatever that may be. We use a multitude of action plans, but honestly, it's based upon what the consumer wants us to do with them.
Beautiful. So be really targeted with the types of, so for one, it's a segmentation of the people in your database. And then number two is what are you doing to actually be in touch with them? Don't take it on a whim.
No. Right? And you have to call. You have to call. You have to pick up the phone and call people.
What do you think gets in the way of people calling?
Just, you know, hey, I have it too.
Yeah.
Just so you know, nobody's perfect. And we talked about that just yesterday on our team meeting. We talked about energy. We only have so much energy in a day, and which is why you want to do your cold calling, your lead generation in the morning, because you have your most energy, your willpower. You're good. Yeah. Hopefully you got up and ate a good breakfast and worked out and got the body moving, so you're ready to do it. If you're doing it at 5 or 6 o'clock at night, good luck, because your energy is not going to be there. And trust me, I go through it every single day. My follow-up boss will tell me, James, it's time to contact Dan for the 15th time. I'm like, ugh. Dan never picks up the phone, but you know what? I'm going to do it. Call Dan. And guess what happens? He answers.
Yep.
So it's okay. It's okay to have a day or somebody you're like, I just don't want to call them. I'm not going to do it. The people who get over that and push through that are the ones that are going to be successful. I promise you.
Beautifully put. Okay. Let's answer this question really quickly. Is cold calling required for success? 20 to 30 deals.
Is cold calling required for success?
We had a lot of people say yes.
Yes. Like I said, I augment it. So every listing that we take, I do a circle prospecting through Mojo. I pull up somewhere between 300 to 400 phone numbers, and I call the entire neighborhood and say, hey, I just listed a home on 123 Main Street. Do you know anybody that's looking to buy? No? Thank you very much. Next. Hey, I just listed a home on 123 Main Street. You know anybody looking to buy? No. Sometimes if the lead is open to it and asks questions, I will dig deeper. But this is a contact sport when it comes to cold calling. You're trying to get through as many people as you can, and just know that every no gets you that much closer to a yes. So it's okay for somebody to say no. It's okay for somebody to cuss at you and say, why are you calling me? That's okay. It's part of the business. You have to be able to get over that and just say, no problem. Sorry for bothering you. On to the next. And just what you can do is get a sheet that has about 100 numbers. Every time you get a no, just go, okay, that's one no. You get another no, that's another no. And just see how many no's you need until you get to a yes. And go, okay, if I'm going to cold call, I have to contact 150 people in order to get a yes. So now you know your conversion ratio. And if you want to do 20 to 30 sales with cold calling, you now know how many people you have to call in order to get a yes.
Have you ever called absentee owners before?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that who you started calling?
Yeah, I was thinking about calling them because I have a list of them. I have like a list of 1,000 numbers, and the first person that answered kind of like yelled at me, so then I got kind of scared, and I didn't know like if it was worth it to call all those people.
It's totally worth it. Yeah, in this business, you're gonna get yelled at, you're gonna get cussed at, you're gonna get hung up on. It's okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
In fact, if you're not getting cussed out, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, and do that and celebrate it for real.
Yeah,
for real. I was at a competition one time where I had to contact 6,000 people in a week, and every time I got a no, I celebrated. I'm like, woo, that was a no, but I kept my energy up, and I'm like, okay, it's all right. I don't care. Next, I'm going.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I remember that one time you were talking about when you were cold calling, and somebody cussed you out. So right when you hung up, it's like you started bleeding, and it was just like profusely bleeding. And you don't remember that because that didn't happen.
Never.
It doesn't happen. All right. You don't get hurt. Nothing happens. You just get either a phone slammed on you or cussed out. And then we brush it off and we say, you know what, that person's having a rough day. I'm going to go and help the next person I get on the phone. All right. So just think about how bad can it get when it comes to cold calling. And I get it. This is a much easier said than done kind of thing. But just know that you build this muscle by doing it over and over and over again. And almost to the point where you're kind of psycho and you're salivating looking for that person to tell you no, right? And cuss you out.
Yep.
I know this happened to both of us. Was somebody raising their hand? Was that you? Yeah.
Do you go through that list again once you're under contract in that neighborhood that you listed in?
Yep. Yeah. So you can. So
The question is, do you go back through a list when you get a house under contract?
Yeah. So just like we run those targeted Facebook ads for just listed, under contract, just sold, I can have the same script for that same exact neighborhood. Once it goes under contract, I can say, hey, Mr. Seller or potential Mr. Seller, I had 4 offers on this property. Clearly there's a need for people in this neighborhood. Have you thought about selling your home? Because I have 3 other offers sitting here. So you can call that same neighborhood at least 3 times.
Yeah. So I think let's just bluntly answer it. Is cold calling required to sell 20 to 30 homes a year?
It's not required. It's encouraged. I would encourage you. This is what I would encourage you to do. Find no more than 2 lead generation levers. And those are defined as cold calling, for sale by owners, expired, door knocking, absentee owners. Whatever it is that you want to do, pick 2 that you like doing, that you're comfortable doing, and do them at a very high level and do them every single day consistently. Once you have those 2 mastered, then you can say, okay, now I've got this wheel rolling. I really know how to call absentee owners. I really know how to cold call. I really know how to do FSBOs. I want to branch my business and go over here. But you do it subtly because you don't want to forget what's making you money and making you successful. And that's how agents can get out of this business really quickly and get flustered, because they'll try all of these things. Well, I'm going to call expireds, and I'm going to call FSBOs, and I'm going to door knock, and I'm going to cold call, and I'm going to hold open houses, and I'm going to get, and you're just spinning your wheels doing all this stuff, and you're not mastering anything. So master 1 or 2 consistently and do it every single day.
Bingo, 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 right? Is it ethical to call surrounding neighbors on a new listing if it is not your listing and you have no listings? So let's just say this. We're not brokers, or your broker. And we don't have an ethics certification here. We can tell you what we do. So can we accept that? So what do you do?
I scrub the do not call list. As long as you scrub the do not call list, you're fine.
I think he's more asking about like if somebody else took a new listing in a neighborhood.
Well, you call that agent first. Yeah. If it's within your brokerage, it should be okay. But it's a simple phone call. Hey, Dan, I noticed that you just listed a house on this street. Are you okay with me circle prospecting? Are you okay with me running an ad? Are you okay with me doing all that? 9 times out of 10, that agent's going to say yes, and just go ahead and do it.
Yeah. I mean, you're not marketing that person's listing. So by going over to the neighbors and saying, hey, listen, there are homes that are popping up for sale in your neighborhood. And what we know is that when 1 home pops up, 2 to 3 more are about to follow. So have you thought about making a move? It's as simple of a conversation as that with the surrounding neighbors, right? Cool. All right. Other social media platforms.
Okay, other social media platforms. I'm gonna go back to the same thing with lead gen levers. Pick 1 or 2 social media platforms and just do it at a high level. Read some books, figure out, go to a podcast, figure out how do I do this very successfully, and just do it. I actually got off LinkedIn because I was getting more spam on LinkedIn than I can imagine. So it wasn't for me. I had it there and it didn't serve me. It wasn't bringing me business, so I deleted it. Facebook and Instagram, that's all I do.
Beautiful. Somebody was asking about LinkedIn. LinkedIn is pretty good if you're building your team and you're looking for maybe your admin or some agents to hire on. So that's been my typical thing.
Yeah.
How to secure second place realtor.
Okay, so I'm assuming we'll just say this neighborhood, and you know that there's a realtor that has 20% of the business in that neighborhood, and you want to take it over. It's called sheer hard work. You need to call that neighborhood. You need to door knock. You need to hold open houses, secure listings, and it takes time.
I think the other way that it might be viewed, and tell me if I'm wrong here, is you're lead generating. Somebody says, I already know a realtor. So now you need to pivot your focus to, okay, I'm going to lock place number 2. So what do you say?
I already have a realtor. say, okay, that's fine. Are you open to a second opinion?
Should I, you know, say,
And if they say no, then it's okay. On to the next.
move on.
Yep. Don't spin your wheels on trying to convert somebody who's not going to be converted. Doesn't matter who you're talking to, whether it's a cold call, whether it's a FISBO, whatever. You're going to spin your wheels trying to overcome objections, trying to push them. Come on. And at the end of the day, after you get 2 or 3 objections, then just move on. Go on to the next. Okay, thank you. Have a good day. Yeah.
I think coming back to the cold calling question, just know that what's required is 1, tending to a database, and 2, talking to people, right? In today's market with the limitations surrounding it, cold calling is a highly efficient way of nailing both of those, but it's not the required way, right? It's not the required way.
Just like with a lead generation lever, do 1 or 2 really successful at a high level. Same thing with your CRM. We get asked all the time, what's the best CRM? What CRM should I be using? It's the one you actually use. It's the one that you feed. It's the one that you nurture. And it's the one that you keep up to date all the time. You find 1 or 2 lead generation strategies, have a database in the CRM, and consistently work it and nurture it, and you'll be successful.
Perfect. So what other questions have we not covered? No, you got a question sitting on your tongue.
So we've got about 10 minutes. I've got time. Do you got time?
I got time.
Let's just open it up to whatever. Whatever is on your mind. Do you want to talk about anything?
Great question there. Daily schedule.
Daily schedule. My daily schedule is...
Nice job, Omar.
Do you want me to do it my personal or my business or both? Both? Okay. My personal, which by the way, you should all have a schedule and follow it, because if it's not on your schedule,
it doesn't exist.
So up at 5 o'clock, at the gym, 5:30 to 6:30, home for breakfast and packing lunch until 8. If I come to the office, I leave my house at 8. I'm here by 8:30, and I am doing lead generation and lead follow-up from 9 to 11. And then the afternoons are for appointments, whatever those may be. If they're appointments with buyers, they're appointments with sellers, showing houses. I do not, to the best of my ability, do any appointments, any showings, any signings in the morning, ever. And I set that expectation up front with my clients. If you want to do anything, I'm available after 1 o'clock. And then I'm usually home.
Why is that?
Because I have to protect my time and I have to protect my business. And the only way that I can grow my business and have a consistent business if I do the 2 lead generation levers that I'm comfortable with, and I do it every single day consistently. And I have to protect that. Otherwise, you're going to have a seesaw pattern of I have a bunch of business, I have no business. I have a bunch of business, I have no business. So what happens is you get caught up in your business. So you have 4 or 5 people under contract. You're too busy working those, going to appointments, which, by the way, I never go to any home inspections. That's a complete waste of my time. If you're going to home inspections, you're wasting 2 hours to 3 hours of your day. Do not do that. And you have some liability concerns because as soon as you're there, the buyer's going to go, hey, James, what do you think of this? Nope, not my area. There's a home inspector here, so sorry, had to plug that in real quick. So yeah, I make sure I work on my business every single morning and grow my business. So I don't have that seesaw pattern. And I try to close however many I can every month.
Okay. Did I answer the daily schedule? I know you have a very good CRM. MLS has a new one. Prospect Plus, I think, is one. Do you have any feedback on that new CRM?
No.
Sorry.
Sorry.
That's a quick answer there.
Yeah, I've used Follow Up Boss for 5 years, and it's really, really good. So again, it doesn't matter. Honestly, it does not matter which CRM you use. Just use it.
That's the biggest problem with CRMs.
Yep.
Is that, ooh, it's got glitz and glamour and all these bells and whistles. And are you putting people in it? Are you following up with individuals? Yeah. Ulysses asked, do you work with title reps to pull data, and how do you nurture this data?
I do not. I use Mojo. Mojo pulls numbers for me. I could. I mean, I have title reps, but the data they get is on an Excel spreadsheet, which means I'd have to somehow take that spreadsheet, load it up into Mojo, put it in my dialer. Now it's just easier to draw a circle around a neighborhood in Mojo. It pulls all the numbers, puts it in there. And then it also, I'm able to link Mojo to my follow-up boss. So as soon as I get a cold lead that says, yes, James, I want to sell my home in 2 months, I click a button that says seller, and it automatically takes that Mojo lead, puts it in my follow-up boss, tags them as a seller, says it comes from Mojo, and then I go over there and I put them in and put some notes in and an action plan.
Beautiful. What landing page software do you use?
It's with our website. So Curator, Curaytor, is a nationwide marketing company who only works with real estate agents, and they only allow 2 agents per market. Sorry, we took the last one in Las Vegas in 2016. So they run our Facebook, they run our website, our Instagram, and all of those landing pages.
Why are you telling about Curator if they can't even get it then?
Because Curator,
He's doing a nana boo-boo on you.
No, because they're a great company. So, and Chris Smith, who is the CEO owner, has a couple great books. One is called Conversion Code. If you have not read Conversion Code, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do a couple books. So I'm going to give you 3 books. And by the way, these 3 books, anybody who joins our team has to read and finish. Otherwise, they are not on our team. The first one is Conversion Code by Chris Smith. The next one is Fanatical Prospecting by Jeb Blunt. And the third one is Exactly What to Say for Real Estate Agents. If you want to up your lead generation, lead follow-up game, and conversion, those 3 books.
Order of hire and building a team.
Omar, read The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. It has exactly what you need to do.
And why.
And why. Yeah. Your first hire is an admin, not a buyer's agent. Let me repeat that. Your first hire is an admin, transaction coordinator, assistant, not a buyer's agent. Your
What was the
second
name
hire,
of the book again?
Millionaire Real Estate Agent, MREA. It's a big red book, which, by the way, you have to read that book to be on our team too. It has the systems, the processes, the tools, everything systematically laid out if you want to grow your business.
How many closing or how many deals do you do before you hire an admin? Like, how many do you have to have each month or each year to justify hiring an admin?
Great question. It would be determined on how much income you need to survive and grow your business and when you can bring that person on. And I would say from personal experience, you should be able to do somewhere between 20 to 30 you're on your own before you need to hire an admin. Right at about that point, if you're doing more than that a year, then you can switch. Or if you have the ability, you take an admin on right away and you teach that admin to do the admin side while you become a fantastic real estate agent and you guys grow together.
I hired one on my first deal. Yeah, I mean, just have an expectation for that, right? So if you're going to be hiring an admin, you know, one of the best practices is to have a 30-60-90, where every 30 days you're rehiring that individual based on certain criteria being met. So to have an expectation for where that return is coming from and make sure it's fast, that you're not giving it 12 months. Because that's the thing that holds people back from making that first hire is they think of, oh my gosh, $2,000, that's a $24,000 expense. No, and you've actually said this in one of our previous classes, it's a $6,000 expense. Just think of the first 3 months. And if it doesn't work out in 3 months, you were slow to hire and fast to fire, right?
Yeah, and it doesn't always have to be an admin right away. Just a transaction coordinator is fine, because then you can pay them at closing, no money out of your pocket. What I would encourage you to do, though, and this is what I encourage any new real estate agent we bring on our team, is I want them to do 4 listings by themselves, 100% contract to close with all the disclosures, and 4 buyers. And the reason I do that is so they need to understand what all these disclosures are, why they're being sent to a potential seller or buyer, and what they all mean. Once you've done that contract to close and all those disclosures and all those documents, that's when you bring on your TC. All right, I'm no longer going to do that paperwork and then what happens is your TC is going to send it to one of your clients. Hey, I need you to sign this. And the first thing that client's going to come back at TC, well, I don't know what this means. Your TC is going to send it to you. So you have to be able to talk to it. You have to pick up that phone and go, hey, Dan, I know that my transaction coordinator just sent a whatever it may be. This is what it means. Okay, cool. Thank you. They sign it. It's done. And then you can train your admin to do that for you. But right now you just have a transaction coordinator.
You know what your actual first hire is? A coach.
A coach, yeah.
Got that from my coach, obviously. Yep. All right. Listen, how does anyone get a hold of you if they had more questions, would love to be a partner of yours, or just, do business and hang out with you?
Sure. And I will touch on this just a little bit. You should always be looking for talent. You should always be building your bench. You should always be looking for people that you want to bring into your world. I will never turn away an opportunity to talk to somebody. I will never turn away an opportunity to find out what their hopes and dreams are, because I want to be a part of that, and I want to help them get to wherever it is they want to be. That's the foundation of our team. That's how we operate. So you should do that too. You can reach me here's my personal cell phone number. You can call anytime or text anytime. It is 702-460-8993. 702-460-8993. I'm happy to answer any phone calls, go over anything after 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
After 1 p.m. Yeah. I know that was going to happen. Awesome. Guys, if you enjoyed it, let's go ahead and give a round of applause for Mr. James Hughes. Huh? Beautiful. And thank you all for joining us for today's class. What was your biggest ahas from today? Follow up and lead nurture. Got it. What else?
Contact sport.
It's a contact sport.
Contact sport.
What else?
Hard work.
Hard work. I like these 1 or 2 word responses. What else?
Pick up the phone.
Pick up the phone. Yes. Sticking to my schedule. Follow-ups and don't give info up front. How many calls it takes. Yes. Make sure you're measuring a lot of things in your business. Thank you. It was awesome. I love that takeaway. You guys are awesome. Just make sure, we talked about a lot of different things today. Here's the biggest thing. Pick 1, maybe 2 things that you got from this last 60 minutes and go and implement it. Don't try and implement 8 or 9 things. That's how nothing happens and you sit here for learning's sake, not earning's sake. Pick 1 or 2 things and go and implement it to your business today. Awesome. James, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you having
Thank
me
you
on.
guys for joining us. Have a good one.